The E vowel is a short, high front, and unrounded vowel commonly found in American English. It is often referred to as the short E. The E vowel is most frequently represented by the letters E, A, I, and Y in English. The E vowel can be especially challenging for non-native speakers, particularly Spanish speakers, because it doesn't really exist in their native vowel system. That's exactly why I make sure to spend extra time working on this vowel with my Spanish-speaking clients. Most of the time, as Spanish speakers, we tend to replace the E vowel with E. And it makes sense because E is very similar to the Spanish E. But this substitution is inaccurate. The E vowel is longer and tenser, meaning you will feel more tension in the muscles of your face and tongue. However, E is shorter and more relaxed, meaning the muscles of your mouth and tongue are less tense, and the movement feels more natural. Watch closely how my mouth moves and how the sound changes when I pronounce both vowels. E, 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 E. Let the jaw lower slightly while the front part of the tongue lifts toward the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue gently rests just behind the bottom front teeth. Let's compare E and E. The vowel E is higher in the mouth. The tongue is almost touching the roof. It's also more tense and pushed forward. Now, the vowel I is a bit lower and more relaxed. The tongue isn't as high or as tense, and it sits slightly further back. Because of that, E sounds sharper and brighter, while I sounds softer and more neutral. The I vowel behaves differently depending on stress. In English, vowels tend to be clearer and more pronounced in stressed syllables, but can become weaker or change in unstressed syllables. When stressed, I is pronounced with full intensity. The pitch of the voice glides up and then down. I. The mouth opens and the vowel is pronounced with more energy, clarity, and pitch variation. I. I is stressed in the word big. I. Big. I. The jaw drops just a little bit. The tip of the tongue stays behind the lower front teeth. The front part of the tongue arches up toward the roof of the mouth. When unstressed, I can sound shorter and weaker. I. I. This is because in English, unstressed syllables are pronounced more quickly and at a lower pitch. Therefore, we hear a much more relaxed version of the vowel. I. I. I is unstressed in the word image. I. Image. I. The word image. Watch my mouth when I pronounce the vowel I in a stressed syllable. The jaw drops slightly, and you can see more of the tongue. But when the vowel is in an unstressed syllable, the mouth is much more relaxed, and the tongue is barely visible. Stressed I. The jaw drops more, and the tongue is visible. Unstressed I. The jaw drops less. The mouth is more neutral and relaxed. The tongue is barely visible. I is stressed in the words big. I. Big. I. Live. I. Live. E. Busy. E. Busy. E. Pitch. E. Pitch. E. E is unstressed in the words vivid. E. Vivid. E. Finish. E. Finish. E. Decide. E. Decide. E. Visited. E. Visited. E.